Do you like art journaling, painting, collage, or assemblage? Then you come to the right place. I'm Bea Grob and I love to inspire you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So glad you joined me today again for the March Lookback, March 2022, just in case you watch this video years later. Who knows what the future brings. Anyway, I have quite a bit of stuff on my table. Yes, I have been busy and I like to work my art all day, so every day. So that's why I have always a lot of project at the same time going on. I do jump from project to project. I usually don't stay on one project for too long. So when I go back to the specific project again, I have sort of fresh eyes. For me, that really helps to get, first of all, not bored. Easily bored, and second, getting fresh eyes and see it from a more far distance. Not when you work on a project, you get so attached to what you have done, you sometimes lose the perspective of what it is really, what is on either your assemblage, your painting, your collage, whatever it is. So that's why I always have several projects at once going on. That's why I need a really large table to store my projects in between. Just a little side note here. Now, this video today is again a little bit of snippets of some of our strolls. We have a really early spring. We have already spring flowers, which there are years where we have still snow in March, but certainly not this year. Anyway, let's go to the table and see what I have to show you. Okay, let's start with the largest pieces. That is one of those really giant moleskin um, watercolor notebooks. I have shown an in-between stage already last look back. Now I call it finished. There's going to be a time-lapse pretty soon, somewhere in April. Don't know exactly yet. I have filmed the whole making of painting, just the painting. I don't think I have filmed the sketching. Anyway, it's going to be a video pretty soon, a time-lapse for that little still life, so to speak. A little cat, some teapots, some flowers, and yeah. I mentioned last month already, I have been inspired by Sandy Hester's to do a little still life. I do it obviously different than her. Like that is one of the furniture we actually have up in our dining room. So yeah, that is one thing I have finished this month. I also was working quite a bit on stencils. I think that was the first I made. That's with the windows. Yeah, you can see it. And I just grab. I do store my stencils either in one of those sleeves, and I always use a G hook. Can you see it? It's quite kind of hard to see. Let's see if I put it up onto the camera. Yes, you can sort of see it. That's what I use. I have a rod somewhere in my shelves, and I just hang them like that, side by side, this way. So that was the first I made this month. Then came this lady, and if I don't have masks, I use it without those sleeves. I just hang it like that. So that was my lady. You have probably already seen a video. I'm gonna link it if I remember. There's an ATC size lady and down from art journal. And I also, that's actually the newest one. I have used one already for my YouTube membership, those two feathers. So yeah, if you're interested in those stencils, you can find them on my website, www.beargrub.com. I will have the link down below too. That's what I was working on too. Somewhere in April, I'm gonna show you this guy here, a little assemblage which I made from an old tin. That's actually paper, the red stuff here. I basically just left it as it is. Sometimes I do change those things a little bit up, and sometimes I just leave it as that. So yeah, so it was a little cat head. It was just the head. I don't have the body for it. As legs, I did use one of those game tokens, and that used to be a button, then an old light. Yeah, that's what I have used for these little assemblages. There is still this class going on. I mean, I opened up on the 20th for this class, making a little bird's nest. It's a fun, easy, affordable class maybe you are interested in, so check out again my website. Another thing I was working on is one of those scroll books. I don't know how to call it. It's one of those scroll things. I'm in a group again, and that's for a swap. That's gonna go to somebody in the States, and I'm gonna get one from the States. So that's what I was working on. And also on the 20th, I started my brand new YouTube membership. The membership level 3, which is for 650 francs a month. You get the longer videos, you get traceables, printables, collage papers once a month, which I'm going to send you through email probably. I still have to figure out a little bit the YouTube membership, so bear with me. Anyway, that's the first thing we're going to make. That was launched on the 20th of March. Check it out. We're going to make our own journal from watercolor paper and canvas and whatnot. So that's what I was working on too. And then I have finished one of my latest art journals, and I thought I'm gonna give you a little flip through. First of all, it was one of the loose page journals which you occasionally have seen me working on, and I have done all the pages. I usually make a bunch of pages in a specific size, and when I have filled up all those pages, then I turn it into an art journal. That's one way I do it. Sometimes I start from in an actual journal, an art journal, and sometimes I make a journal before I start working on it. It's all depending on my mood. Anyway, so here I had to make a cover, and what I have used for that, I don't know whether you can see it. Yes, you can see it. It is woven wallpaper. It's one of those very luxury wallpapers. I only have the samples. I do get those samples from somebody who didn't need them no more. So I did turn that into a cover because it's very sturdy but still flexible. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. At the moment, I leave it. And yeah, finishing an art journal never means I'm going to put it away for years and not looking at it. Sometimes I go back and change things up. Maybe I do add little details. Maybe I completely change the page. So as long as I haven't sold my art journals, they are not safe from me, just saying. Anyway, again, that is one of my older stencils. It's still available in my shop. Talking about stencils, I tend to have only about 22 stencils at the same time on my shop. I'm gonna retire stencils. So for the feathers, which is the newest stencil, I actually did retire another stencil. So just saying, if you really want the stencil, you better get it before I make new ones. Anyway, that's one of my other face stencils. I have like 3 or 4 stencils with face and figures, so check it out. just, it is a watercolor paper. I did use watercolor paper for those pages, so I did use watercolor here, and but it's the smooth side. As always, papers have smooth and not so smooth sides, but I can feel it. This is the smooth side. And here also a little bit of collage. I like to do, sometimes when I try out paint, I keep those papers and then use it as collage elements. That's what those things are here, and that's from a napkin. And then I did sketch in a little figure, and again with watercolor. I'm not sure, but I think it is a YouTube video. I'm sure it is a YouTube video. So if I don't forget, I'm gonna link that YouTube video too. And maybe even in the end card. That's a good idea. Now I just have to remember. Anyway, that's the Bear and Penny stencil. That's, we were on a walk and we took a picture from our shadow, and when I looked at the picture I had the idea, oh, I'm gonna turn that into a stencil. That is what this stencil is about. Then I have used some deli paper, some vintage book pages, paint markers, a little bit of washi tape. Hey, I'm really proud of myself. I have such a hard time using washi tape. Anyway, again, some collage. Those words I print myself on those sticker sheets which you can get from Avery, so you have your own self-adhesive stickers. Again, I did drew a little figure. She has a little awl in her hand, and yeah, some collage papers. Here I did test with charcoal to outline my older face stencil, and then watercolor, and also some stamping. I don't know whether you can see it. Yes, here you can see it. It is a little bit of stamping with watercolors, which is fun too. That was actually my first version, or my first test out of a stencil, of the newest face figure stencil I have. And yeah, I do like her, so I'm gonna use her probably quite a bit. Sometimes when I feel like not want to draw something, but I just want to play with colors, I make those kind of spirals and just fill it in with colors, just with watercolor. It's a fun way to just relax a little bit. One of my hand-drawn sketches, graphite, also those charcoal XL graphites from Derwent, on watercolor paper. Then I did sew it on, the background here is one of my handmade papers. Last summer I did make quite a bit of handmade paper. I still have a stash full, so I'm probably not going to do it this summer again. I also added some stitching, as you can see. And then I did sew on, this time with a straight stitch, not with a zigzag stitch, onto the flap I had here, because those pages are irregular, you know. So I have this border here around, and I have already drawn and painted this lady here, and then just sewn over. It doesn't bother me that I have the sewing lines here over her legs, so it really doesn't bother me. I'm pretty sure that is a shorts video, or over at Instagram Reels. The background here is, sometimes when I use like distress inks, I like to have some paper underneath to catch the overflow, and that's what I did here. And then this is a separate piece. I have tested out some faces I had made, and then added which is actually from a magazine, probably from one of those art journaling from, what is the brand name? Somerset. Yeah. Purely drawing and using a little bit of graphite charcoal again, and then in combination with watercolor. And the yellow things here, they are actually from the back side, because here I did use alcohol ink, which seemed to seep through the watercolor paper. I didn't know that. It's interesting, but again, it doesn't bother me. And here I did use the small version, just with some acrylic paint. And I had a little bit of a seepage here, but again, it doesn't bother me. And then I did use different kinds of book pages. In the background you can see another stencil, distressed scales, and that's a napkin. And then I did use the postcard pen, and I did use washi tape. That is a video for mixed media collaboration. Video Hop, Ukraine, sunflowers, blue. I don't have to mention more, I think. This fun guy is actually inspired by my tiny little one I'm actually working on. It's not filled up yet. That's from a cookie bag. I found it cute and did cut it out, and then I added the body, and I thought, I'm gonna do the teddy bear again, but this time I'm gonna draw it from start. So, and again, it is watercolor and graphite. That's all what it is. This is a shorts that has just been lately on the channel and over on Instagram as a reels. Now here, this is the actual flap from this page. As I said, I have different kind of pages, so that was a really small page. So I added this piece where I have tested out something on some mixed media paper, and then I got a pocket. So I thought, okay, I have to put something in. So I made a tag from one of my pieces, discarded pieces, and on the back I did draw a little mushroom house. Sometimes I just feel like cute. And I just did draw and watercolor a jar of joy. I do like flowers. That is inspired by the Venetian Carnival, where people in January dress up as Commedia dell'arte people, so those funny hats and things like that. It's purely graphite pencil and watercolor. Again, I was testing an idea, just some paint and some paint markers. This flap belongs to the rest of the page that's coming later. I just left it as it is. And here again, I told you, you're going to see this lady for a while. I really like her. So, but I also did add some stitching, which you're also going to see more. I'm fascinated by the idea of stitching on paper, so I just need a little bit more time for all my projects, just saying. Again, that's a shorts, that's actually this part here. It was still open, then I did use the whole page for her, so I did fold her in. That's a shorts again, or a reels in Instagram, just drawing, painting, a little bit of modeling paste, a little bit of wax, and some word from the magazine. Now here I have the original paper, but then I did add this jelly print. I did adhere it with some washi tape again. I did really use washi tape in this journal. Hey, anyway, I did use the jelly print as a background, and then I drew in and painted over a face on my jelly print. Again, this was the original sketch I had, and I just sewed it in before I did this page. So you don't see the stitching here. This jelly print is glued in later. I don't work page by page. I jump from one page to the other and just whatever I feel like. So I did sew in this part with the sewing machine with the zigzag stick, and then I elongated her skirt. Again, it's a girl with an owl and a moon and stars. That was a mixed media and more on Monday class where I did work only with colored ballpoint pens and some watercolors. The idea was that some ballpoint pens they do smear and you can move the color around, but I didn't have I, especially the black didn't move at all, and the blue didn't move, the pink didn't move, the purple didn't move. I don't remember this one. Anyway, so I added some colors that matched with watercolor. Now here again, I'm in sketching girls, fancy girls, whimsical girls, whatever you want to call it. And this is again with watercolor and just some graphite pencil. And the star, I actually, that's a paper I did paint with acrylic gold paint, and then I did hand cut some stars. Stamping on watercolor, then using it as border. And again, I have some sewing here, and there is a fun text here. It's in German. I have a new skirt, don't you like it? Ich habe einen neuen Rock, finden Sie ihn nicht hübsch in German. Painting a face, and again with ballpoint pen, adding some marks and sort of glasses, and the dress is more like script scribbling. Okay, that is one of my other finished art journals. There is another one, but I'm gonna save that for next month. Now I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you soon again. Take care. Bye.